Hello, BookTube, and I'm here for a refined TBR for week 1 of New World's November, because November is soon upon us. And you ask, what is New World's November? Well, if you don't know, it is a science fiction reading event that it's in its second year. It was created by the Bookish Bryants, Scott and Becky Bryant. And I am, thankfully, they've asked me again this year to be a co-host, along with many others, which I'll get to in a moment. And it is a month of celebration of science fiction in its short form. Basically, it's any short story, novella, novelette, or short novel, 250 pages or less. Now, these are sort of guidelines, and they're not enforcing any of these guidelines, but we also have prompts for every week and a few extras this year. First week is Terrestrial, and that is science fiction that's set on the Earth. Week 2 is Extra-Terrestrial, set off of the Earth. Number 3 is a work of classic science fiction, and we've termed that to be pre-1965. But you could actually dip into 65, which is, I think, perfectly fine. But it's basically the demarcation point there is where the new wave science fiction really began to take off with Michael Moorcock and, funny enough, a magazine called New Worlds. And week 4 is Robots and AI. And that is holdover from last year. But that's not where it ends. We have sub-themes. We have a baker's dozen, which is alien archaeology. Each week we could try to fit any of the stories and try to see if we can, as many of these sort of scavenger hunts or the sub-themes fit into these stories. We've got alien archaeology, alien romance, translated works, alternate world / dimensions, far future, war / military, genre crossing, first contact, time travel, invasion, humorous, political, and libraries. But that's not all. We have, for extra credit, visit a parallel universe. And this is reading a print science fiction story, obviously, but also then looking at its adaptation in a different medium. And that can be radio play. That can be a TV show. That can be a movie. It's also been suggested a video game, comic book, or even actually a stage play itself would be a different way. And then I suppose even an audiobook, I suppose, because that is an interpretation in itself, whoever's reading it. So in the host this year, well, let's go through the host first. Scott and Becky Bryant at the Bookish Bryants, they're the creators. And we have Steve Donahue, myself, Michael K. Vaughn, Brandy at the Booklectic, Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads, Jim at Jim Reads Too Slow, Mark at Book Time with Elvis, Chris at Unlimited Reads, Matt at Science Fiction Reads, Nathan at The Rambling Reviewer, Fred at Read by Fred, Gareth at Books, Songs, and Other Magic, and Bob's Books. Now, I'll have all the links to their pages down below, and I'll just go through quickly. I'm not going to tell too much about this week's. It's all terrestrial. So I'm not going to delve too much into what the books are about, but this is sort of First Contact, Childhood's End, Arthur C. Clarke, and it's a reread for me, and I'll be reading this with Becky Bryant and Nathan at the Rambling Reviewer. and I'm looking forward to rereading that again. And also this month, November, begins Howl for the Holidays that Brandy at the Book Eclectic has devised, and is to read Hal Clement. So my first read of that, which also coincides with Terrestrial here, is Needle. And it's, I guess you could say it's a first contact as well. And it's a short novel, so I'm looking forward to rereading that. These novels are all rereads for me, but it's been a long time since I've read them. And Philip Jose Farmer, Flesh. Now, this is set on Earth, but in a future where somebody is returning from a space journey, and Earth's population is sort of disintegrated into agricultural type and sex cults, and with an emphasis on sex. It was an interesting book at the time. Philip Jose Farmer writes interesting plots. Let's put it that way. So, and I just received this one, and I was actually wasn't expecting it to be in such a good shape. It was cheap, and that's where I bought it. There is some spotting on the top edges there, but it's otherwise, like, it's not, the spine's not split or anything. I was expecting it to be worse shaped than Needle. And I believe I have another copy of Flesh coming, so we'll keep the best condition one. Okay, so those were the 3 novels. Now, for science fiction, there is at least one here. Yeah, there's one that I have not read, and I might add a few more. This is Ted Chiang. It's a newer, and this is Stories from Your Life and Others. And the one I will be reading is Story of Your Life. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course, I can't do an event like this without reading some Clifford Simak. And one, like, I'm not 100% sure where all these things fit in, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get as much archaeology in as well. The alien archaeology. So I'm going to do, and this is from here, The Grotto of the Dancing Deer. It's a sort of short story / novella that Simak wrote and published in 1980, and it won the Hugo and Nebula Awards for novella. I think, was it for novella? Not sure. But it appeared in the 1980 issue of Analog Science Fiction and Fact. So I'm looking forward to rereading that, so that I'll have some archaeology in. And to continue with Hal Clement, I will be reading his first short story, Foolproof. I don't have that in a book form, so that will be done via a PDF of the original 1942 astounding science fiction. And then I'll be reading from here. I'll be reading a lot from here as it goes on. But I'll be reading Impediment, which is his second story from here. This is the Best of Hal Clement, edited by Lester Del Rey. And I will be reading one other one. That's a mystery one, and it's a mystery yet for me. But it will be something that was adapted from a short story for Dimension X, the old 1950s radio science fiction program. And I haven't decided which one. So those are, so there's going to be 6 short stories and 3 novels, and I'm hoping that I can do this because of health-wise. But anyway, and I'll be back at the end of the week, or just before the second week with my TBR for week 2. That's still being tweaked a little bit. But anyway, I will see you then, and happy reading. If you're joining in, do let me know what you're reading, and if you're reading any of the same books that I am, or short stories. And I'd love to hear about that into the comments. And do check out all the other co-hosts. I will leave the links below. Thank you.